I'm Dr. Jeremy Bartz, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about what causes many, if not most, psychological difficulties and what can be done about them. As a dynamic psychotherapist, I understand that symptoms and difficulties are often the result of unconscious conflicts. Now, what do I mean by unconscious conflicts? Dr. David Mallon has used a triangle to help us conceptualize these forces within the psyche. As we go through life, naturally we experience events that generate core emotions such as love, anger, guilt, grief, and fear. These core emotions are fundamental to our existence and they serve valuable functions. However, early in life, many people learn that some of their core emotions are not acceptable. Many children are punished or isolated for expressing these basic emotions. And when that happens, the emotions become associated with anxiety. We fear that if we allow ourselves to experience the full impact of our emotions, that it could threaten the attachment bond from our caregivers. And this makes us very anxious. Now, as you know, anxiety is a pretty uncomfortable state, and we're highly motivated to find ways to avoid it. So we turn to defenses to cover up our anxiety and our threatening emotions. Now, there are thousands of different defense mechanisms that people use, and they do enable us to avoid our anxiety and our emotions, however, at a great cost, because these defense mechanisms create the very problems that destroy our quality of life and relationships. For example, let's pretend your boss calls you into his office and unfairly reprimands you. Now, this would naturally generate anger. But if you associate anger with anxiety, then you'll become anxious and then defend against the anger. One common defense used to deal with anger is to turn it on oneself. One might do this by thinking to themselves, I'm not really angry with my boss. In fact, I agree with him. I am an idiot. Even though this happens on an unconscious level, when we turn anger on ourselves through the defense of self-attack, we naturally become depressed and our self-confidence plummets. Most people use defense mechanisms automatically and habitually. So my job as a therapist is to bring these mechanisms to your awareness so that you can let go of them, and then we can process the emotions that have been buried underneath them. Once the emotions have been dealt with, then there's no more need for the defense mechanisms or the anxiety that has been driving your symptoms and difficulties.